Do you ever look around your home and feel a little bit overwhelmed? Maybe the surfaces seem to gather dust faster than you can wipe them, or piles of mail seem to sprout like mushrooms overnight. You see other people, perhaps friends or neighbors, who always seem to have a tidy, peaceful home. And you wonder how they do it. It feels like a constant battle. And sometimes, as we get a little older, the thought of tackling a big cleaning job can feel less like a challenge and more like a mountain. That feeling of things being out of control, even in our own living space, can weigh on us, adding stress we just don't need. You might imagine they spend hours every day scrubbing and polishing, or maybe they just have less stuff than you do. But often, the secret isn't about superhuman effort or endless hours of cleaning. It's about something much simpler, something much more integrated into the rhythm of daily life. It's about small, consistent habits that prevent the mess from ever becoming overwhelming. It's not about striving for magazine cover perfection, but about maintaining a sense of order and calm that makes your home a sanctuary rather than a source of stress. In this video, we're going to explore 6 simple, daily habits practiced by seniors who seem to have effortless, spotless homes, bringing peace and ease into their everyday routines. These aren't huge tasks, but small actions that, done consistently, make a world of difference. And make sure you stay with us until the very end, because there's something we're going to share that might just surprise you and completely change your perspective on keeping your home tidy and peaceful. Let's dive right into these habits, starting with something incredibly simple, yet surprisingly powerful. The first habit, the one that sets the tone for the entire day, is making the bed. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Making the bed, is that really a habit that leads to a spotless home? Yes, absolutely. It might sound trivial, but think about it for a moment. Your bedroom is often the first space you see in the morning and the last space you see at night. When you make your bed, even if it's just a quick pull-up of the covers and smoothing the pillows, you instantly transform the look and feel of the room. It goes from looking a little disheveled and sleepy to looking neat and put together. This isn't about creating a perfect, hospital-cornered masterpiece every morning unless that brings you joy. It's about that simple act of order. It takes maybe 60 seconds, perhaps 2 minutes if you like to fluff the pillows just right. But in return, you get a room that immediately feels calmer, more organized, and more welcoming. It's like a little gift you give yourself at the start of the day. And it does something else, too. It provides a visual anchor of tidiness in your home. Even if other areas are a work in progress, your bedroom, your sanctuary, starts the day looking peaceful. This small victory can subtly encourage you throughout the day. You've already accomplished one little task, created one little pocket of order. It builds a tiny bit of momentum. It also makes the room look larger and more inviting. A rumpled bed can make even a spacious room feel cluttered and chaotic, while a made bed, no matter how small the room, instantly creates a sense of peace and spaciousness. Think about walking into your bedroom in the evening. Wouldn't you rather see a neatly made bed ready to welcome you than a pile of blankets? This simple action contributes significantly to that overall feeling of peace and being in control of your space. It's not about being rigid or perfectionistic. Some days, maybe you just pull the duvet up. Other days, you might smooth it out a bit more. The key is the consistency of the action. It becomes a natural part of your morning routine, like brushing your teeth or having your first cup of tea. It requires minimal physical effort and yields maximum visual impact. It's a habit that costs nothing but gives back so much in terms of that feeling of a well-kept, peaceful home. It's the foundation of the day's tidiness, a signal to yourself that you are taking care of your space. It's the easiest way to make one significant area of your home look instantly better. So, the first habit of those with effortlessly spotless homes, simply taking that minute or two each morning to make the bed. It's a small habit with a big impact on how your home feels. Now, moving from the bedroom to areas where clutter tends to multiply at an alarming rate. Let's talk about papers, mail, flyers, newspapers, magazines. They arrive daily, and if not dealt with, they can quickly create overwhelming piles on counters, tables, and desks. This brings us to the second crucial habit: processing paper immediately. Those with peaceful, tidy homes don't let papers stack up. They have a system, and they deal with incoming paper almost as soon as it enters the house. This doesn't mean you have to sit down and pay bills the moment they arrive. But it does mean making a quick decision about each piece of paper. Think about your process when the mail comes through the door. Does it land on a table and just sit there, getting buried under other things? Or do you have a dedicated spot, maybe a small tray or basket near the door, or wherever you first sort mail, and then immediately go through it? The habit is this: stand over the recycling bin or shredder and sort junk mail into the bin immediately. Magazines you won't read bin, flyers bin, things that require action bills, appointments, invitations. These go into one designated to-do spot. Things you need to keep: statements, important letters. These go into a designated spot for filing later, ideally somewhere out of sight like a drawer or a specific folder. The key is to make a decision now. Not, "I'll look at this later," but, "What is this, and where does it need to go?" This quick sorting prevents the initial pileup. Imagine the difference between a counter covered in stacks of unsorted paper and a counter that's clear except for perhaps one small tray with a few items requiring attention. That visual difference alone contributes immensely to the feeling of a spotless, peaceful home. This habit requires a little discipline initially, but it quickly becomes second nature. It might take 5 minutes when the mail arrives, but those 5 minutes save you hours of sifting through confusing, dusty piles later on. It reduces visual clutter and the mental load of knowing there are important things hidden somewhere in those stacks. For things that need action, having that single to-do spot keeps them contained and visible, so you don't forget about them. But they aren't spread all over the house. For things to file, just having a temporary holding spot keeps them from cluttering main living areas until you have a few minutes to put them away properly. This habit isn't just about tidiness, it's about efficiency and reducing stress. Papers are often linked to tasks, obligations, or sensitive information. Dealing with them promptly makes you feel more in control of your life, not just your physical space. It prevents that sinking feeling when you discover a forgotten bill or appointment notice hidden in a pile. So, the second powerful habit of those with peaceful homes: handling paper, mail, newspapers, anything that comes into the house, immediately and getting it either discarded, filed, or put in a specific, limited, to-do spot. It's a habit that keeps surfaces clear and your mind uncluttered. Following on from tackling those paper piles, let's talk about another big culprit for clutter and a feeling of disarray: things not being where they belong. This leads us to the third habit that those with effortlessly tidy homes practice daily, almost without thinking: the put away as you go rule. You know how it happens. You finish reading a book and leave it on the coffee table. You take out your knitting or craft project and leave it on the sofa when you stop. You take off your cardigan or jacket and drape it over a chair. Each of these small actions on their own seems harmless, but when you do several of them throughout the day, you suddenly find your home looking like a tornado has gone through it, with items scattered everywhere. The put away as you go habit is simple in concept, but it requires a conscious effort initially. It means that when you are finished using something, you immediately put it back in its designated home. Finished with that book, take it back to the bookshelf. Done knitting for now. Fold it up and put it back in your project basket. Taken off a garment. Put it in the laundry basket or back in the wardrobe. It's about preventing the accumulation of misplaced items. Instead of letting things pile up, creating a big tidying job later, you deal with each item in the moment you are done with it. This isn't about being rigid. Life happens. And sometimes you might leave something out briefly. But the habit is to make putting things away the default action. It prevents surfaces, tables, chairs, floors, from becoming cluttered holding zones for things that don't belong there. Think about your kitchen after making a meal. Do the utensils, chopping board, and spices stay out until you decide to do all the washing up? Or do you quickly rinse and put away things as you finish with them while you're cooking? And then, immediately after eating, clear the table and deal with the remaining dishes. The put-away-as-you-go habit applies everywhere. In the bathroom, putting toiletries back in the cabinet after use. In the living room, returning the remote to its holder or designated spot. In the shed or garage, hanging up tools after you've used them. This habit eliminates the need for large, daunting tidying sessions because you are continuously maintaining order. It requires a shift in mindset from, "I'll deal with this later," to, "I'll deal with this now." But the time investment is minimal, often just a few seconds for each item. And the payoff in terms of a continuously tidy and peaceful home is huge. When everything has a home and is returned to it regularly, your space naturally stays much neater. It reduces the visual noise that clutter creates, making your home feel calmer and more spacious. It also makes it easier to find things when you need them because they are where they are supposed to be. This habit is a cornerstone of effortless tidiness. It's about integrating small acts of putting away into the flow of your daily activities, rather than seeing tidying as a separate, dreaded chore. It's a proactive approach that prevents mess from gaining a foothold. It requires a little mindfulness, a little awareness of what you're doing with items, but it quickly becomes an automatic behavior. And when it does, you'll find your home stays significantly tidier with much less effort. It's one of those habits that truly makes a difference in maintaining that peaceful, spotless feeling without spending hours on dedicated cleaning. It keeps the decks clear, so to speak, allowing you to enjoy your home rather than constantly feeling like you need to tidy it up. Continuing our journey through the habits that cultivate a peaceful, spotless home. Let's consider the areas that see the most activity and can quickly become grubby or cluttered if not attended to regularly. This brings us to the fourth habit, a daily quick clean or tidy of a high-use area. This isn't about deep cleaning. It's about preventing daily use from turning into ingrained dirt or overwhelming mess. Think about your kitchen counter after preparing food or the floor in the entranceway after people have been in and out. These spots accumulate crumbs, spills, dust, and general traffic very quickly. The habit here is to take just a few minutes each day, maybe 5 or 10, to do a targeted, quick clean in one or two of these areas. For example, after dinner, instead of leaving the dishes and remnants of cooking on the counter, you clear the dishes, wipe down the counters, and maybe give the sink a quick rinse. This prevents food residue from hardening, crumbs from attracting pests, and surfaces from looking perpetually messy. It's about catching the mess when it's easy to deal with. Or maybe you have a habit of doing a quick sweep of the kitchen floor after the last meal of the day. This simple action gets rid of crumbs and spills that accumulated throughout the day, keeping the floor feeling clean and pleasant. Another example could be taking 5 minutes to tidy the coffee table in the living room, putting magazines back, clearing away cups, fluffing cushions, or perhaps a quick wipe of the bathroom sink and taps. The key is consistency and focusing on those spots that see the most action. This habit is effective because it stops small messes from becoming big. Difficult to clean messes. Spills wiped up immediately are easy, dried. Sticky spills require scrubbing. Dust and crumbs dealt with daily don't build up into thick grime. It also maintains that feeling of freshness and order in the most lived-in parts of your home. Imagine the difference it makes to walk into a kitchen the next morning where the counters are clean, the sink is clear, and the floor is swept, versus one where the remnants of yesterday's meals are still visible. It feels so much more pleasant and sets a positive tone for the day. This habit doesn't require a lot of time or effort. It's about integrating these small cleaning actions into your existing routine. While your tea is brewing, wipe the counter. While you're waiting for something to heat up, empty the small bin or wipe the sink. It's about using those little pockets of time productively to maintain order. It's a proactive approach to cleanliness that prevents the need for overwhelming cleaning sessions. It keeps the most visible and frequently used areas of your home looking presentable and feeling clean, contributing significantly to that overall sense of peace and effortless tidiness. It's a habit that directly combats the natural tendency of homes to accumulate mess from daily living, keeping things feeling fresh and under control. Now that we've covered the daily maintenance of high-traffic zones, let's talk about something that feels daunting to many but is essential for that truly spotless and peaceful feeling: decluttering. This brings us to the fifth habit: practicing micro-decluttering sessions regularly. The thought of decluttering an entire room, or even a whole cupboard, can be completely overwhelming, especially if you have accumulated a lifetime of possessions. Those with effortlessly tidy homes don't wait for things to reach a crisis point. They make decluttering a small, ongoing activity, not a huge, infrequent project. The habit is to spend just a short, focused amount of time, perhaps 10 or 15 minutes, several times a week or even daily, on a very small, specific area. This could be one drawer in the kitchen, one shelf on a bookshelf, a corner of a closet, or just a section of your desk. Set a timer if it helps. For those 10 minutes. Your only job is to go through that small area and make quick decisions. Keep, donate, discard, or move to another location. Having a box or bag ready for donations and a bin bag for rubbish makes this process smoother. The key is the small scale and the time limit. Knowing you only have to do it for a short time makes it feel manageable, not monumental. You won't clear out your entire attic in 10 minutes, but you can definitely make a noticeable difference in one small drawer. And consistently doing these small sessions prevents clutter from taking over. It's about chipping away at it regularly, rather than letting it build up into an insurmountable mountain. This habit also helps you become more mindful of what you are bringing into your home and what you truly need and use. When you regularly touch and assess your belongings, you're less likely to acquire more things you don't need. The process of letting go, even of just a few items during these micro-sessions, creates a feeling of lightness and freedom. Clutter weighs us down, both physically and mentally, by regularly removing items that are no longer useful, wanted, or needed. You create space, physical space in your home and mental space in your mind. It makes cleaning easier. 2. As there are fewer items to move and dust around. This habit is about progress, not perfection. Some days you might only manage 5 minutes and sort through a single small section. That's okay. The consistency is what matters. These regular, small decluttering sessions, woven into your week, are incredibly effective at preventing clutter buildup and maintaining that feeling of a clear, peaceful home without the stress of tackling huge projects. It's a habit that directly addresses the accumulation of stuff, which is a major factor in whether a home feels chaotic or calm. By making it a small, regular activity, it becomes less of a chore and more of a simple routine that contributes significantly to keeping your home feeling light, airy, and effortlessly tidy. Finally, let's talk about the entry and exit points of your home, the places where things often get dumped the moment you walk in the door. This leads to the sixth and final habit we'll discuss: having a dedicated landing zone and using it. Think about what happens when you come home. Do your keys land on a random surface? Does your bag get dropped by the door? Does the mail you just grabbed end up anywhere convenient? In homes that feel effortlessly tidy, there's usually a designated spot right inside the entrance, or near it, for these essential items that come in and out with you daily. This could be a small table, a shelf, a hook system, or a tray. The habit is to consistently use this landing zone for specific items like keys, wallet, sunglasses, and incoming mail. Everything has a designated home right by the door. Keys always go on the hook. Mail always goes in the tray. Your bag or coat has a specific place to be hung up. This prevents these items from being scattered throughout the house, landing on kitchen counters, bedside tables, or wherever is closest when you walk in. It seems simple, but it's incredibly effective at preventing that initial wave of clutter that happens the moment you step inside. It also means you always know where your essential items are when you're leaving, reducing stress and frantic searching. This habit requires setting up the physical space first, deciding where your landing zone will be and putting a hook, tray, or small piece of furniture there. Then, it requires the discipline to consistently use it every single time you come home. Make it part of your routine. Open the door, step inside, put keys on the hook, put mail in the tray. This prevents the sprawl. It keeps those surfaces near the entrance clear and welcoming, rather than piled high with the detritus of your day. A tidy entryway sets the tone for the rest of the house. If the first thing you see is order, it contributes to that overall feeling of peace and calm. If you're tripping over shoes or searching under piles for your keys, the home immediately feels chaotic. This habit, having and using a dedicated landing zone, is a proactive step that manages the flow of items into your home, keeping clutter contained and out of sight. It's about having a system for those things that are constantly in transit, preventing them from becoming clutter bombs in your main living areas. It's a habit that directly contributes to the feeling of a peaceful, welcoming, and effortlessly tidy home right from the moment you walk through the door. So, there you have it. 6 daily habits that contribute to that feeling of an effortlessly spotless and peaceful home. It's not about spending hours cleaning every day, but about incorporating these small, consistent actions into your routine. Making your bed each morning, processing paper immediately, putting things away as you go, doing a quick daily tidy in a high-use area, practicing micro-decluttering, and using a dedicated landing zone for incoming items. None of these are revolutionary on their own, are they? But when you combine them, when they become automatic parts of your day, they make a world of difference. They prevent the mess from building up in the first place, which is far less daunting than trying to tackle a huge mess later on. It's about maintenance, not deep cleaning marathons. Remember, the goal isn't perfection. It's about creating a home environment that feels calm, comfortable, and easy to live in. These habits are designed to be manageable, to fit into your existing life without adding significant stress or physical burden. They are about making small changes that yield big results in terms of peace of mind and a more enjoyable living space. You don't have to start all 6 at once. Maybe pick 1 or 2 to focus on this week and see what a difference they make. Perhaps start with making the bed or setting up that landing zone by the door. Small steps can lead to significant, lasting changes. These habits truly are the secret to those homes that always seem to radiate calm and order, without the owners seeming to be constantly cleaning. They are built into the rhythm of daily life. It brings me so much joy to share these simple ideas that can make such a positive impact on your daily life and how you feel about your home. Which of these habits resonates with you the most? Or perhaps you already practice some of these and have another simple tip that keeps your home feeling peaceful. Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We can all learn from each other's wisdom and experience. If you found this video helpful and encouraging, please give it a like. That tells us we're on the right track and helps more people find these tips. And if you'd like more practical advice and simple habits for living a peaceful and fulfilling life as we get a little older, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. We're here to explore ways to make life easier, more enjoyable, and more peaceful. One simple habit at a time. Thank you for watching. And remember, your home is your sanctuary. Cultivating these small habits can help it feel that way. Every single day, live your best life at every age.